for the confusion this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Zappora Camper, your host. I know I've been on a hiatus lately. It's been somewhat inconsistent with these podcasts, but I am moving a lot. I have a lot going on in my world, constantly evolving, constantly changing, constantly developing the person that I desire to be. Today's podcast is titled Self-Reflection Breeds Self-Revelation. And this is so pertinent to me at this present moment because we constantly go through days where we feel like we're not ourselves, and then we arrive and we get a burst of identity, and sometimes we don't recognize that we're coming into ourselves. That a part of discovering who we are and what we can do and what we've been placed on this earth to do is to find our identity and find out who we are as individuals. And there's always a rediscovery. There's never a time where you're like, oh, I know who I am. I'm confident and I could go on for the rest of my life, because if that were so, you would be successful at every aspect of your life. And that, in a sense, would not be reality. There's some things you are great at, some things you succeed at, and some things that you are not so great at, and some things that you don't succeed at. And there are times when you succeed at one thing that you set your mind to do, and then you fail at that one thing that you set your mind to do. It all depends. There are seasons of self-reflection and self-revelation. And so self-reflection tells you that who am I? Self-reflection strives to know who you are, who you've been, and who you will be. Self-reflection will determine the grand amount of success or grand amount of failure that you have. If you do not self-reflect, then you will be the type of person that lives by the seat of your pants, and every day, every breath is a whim. Every breath, every step is a wing. I'm going to wing it type of person. So, with that being said, it is essential and necessary to indulge in self-reflection, because you must find what makes you tick. What's your niche? What's your what puts some fire underneath your feet? What causes you to run? What inspires you to do what you do? And if you don't find that you do self-reflection, and even self-reflection can be, what did I do wrong here? What happened here? What's happening? What's happening? When there's a certain circumstance or a stream of negative energy or a stream of negative circumstances, you have to stop and do some self-reflection. And if you don't, then you continue to repeat those mistakes. You will continue to go around and around in circles, and you think you're accomplishing something, and your life is completely stagnated. So sometimes during self-reflection, you must ask yourself, what is going on? What am I missing? What am I doing? How am I contributing to this circumstance? In every part of your life, you must do self-reflection, and you must ask these questions. How am I making a contribution to my life? How are these steps getting me any closer to my goal? And if you find that some of these steps are not, or in achievement, you're finding that you're not nowhere close than you were 2 years ago, then maybe you should switch up, change your steps. It helps to pray and ask God to order your steps. It also helps to focus and meditate on positive things, because I believe an excerpt from the Bible says, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. And so, sorry, I'm quoting it off the top of my head, but you got to focus on these things. And part of focusing on these things is you got to come to the reality that you're not focusing on these things. And if you're not focusing on these things, you can attribute some of what is going on in your world to your thoughts, to your actions, to how you react to the circumstance. So, the self-revelatory portion of this podcast will be, you come to the grips of the reality that you are not rising to your full potential, and that you need to change what you're doing. So self-revelation is when you realize that something in your world is shifting, and you either ride the wave or you stand still. You have to have a revelation within yourself. You have to come to grips with yourself and say, this is either what I want or this is what I don't want. And so part of pursuing and achieving is self-revelation and self-reflection. You must, and sometimes you'll be the only one cheering you on. Even if people don't believe what you have or what you want in life is attainable, you must say it can be done. Frank Sinatra said that the best type of revenge is success. So if you have some naysayers in your life, yes, that's exactly what he says. If you have some naysayers in your life, and some people that feel that what the goals that you've set are unrealistic and unattainable, I'm not saying cut those people out of your life, but if it's not contributing to your life, get rid of it. If it's not contributing to your world, get rid of it. If it's not contributing to your success, get rid of it. If it's not contributing to your goals, get rid of it. Even within yourself, you need to search within yourself and find things that you say, these conversations that you have with yourself, because everybody has conversations with themselves. People are going to say, oh no, that's crazy. I don't have a conversation with myself. Everybody has conversations with yourself, with themselves. And if you don't have a conversation with yourself, you're crazy not to. You know why? Because that means that you're just living and you're just zoned out and you're just existing in a world and not really living. If you do not have a conversation with yourself and say, self, what am I doing? Now, if you answer yourself back, that's a little kooky. Maybe I'll recommend you to a psychiatrist, but having a conversation with yourself to keep yourself on task, to keep yourself on goal, to keep yourself focused, there's nothing wrong with that. You have to have a conversation with yourself to make sure that you are remaining on task and make sure that you are pursuing your goals and make sure that you're even in the ballpark of pursuing your goals. So, I have a few more seconds left, and I want to say, do some self-reflection. Who am I? Who am I in relationship to my goal? Do some self-revelation. I really need to change this. I need to get myself together. And what steps am I going to do to get myself together? Because this is not working. That's self-revelation. Or, oh my God, I've been doing the same thing for many years and it has yielded me no results. I need to get up out this thing. I'm not doing this anymore, and really mean it. Write your goals down. Write your steps down. Order your steps by writing your steps. Order your steps by writing your steps. I have a lot of people from around the world actually listening to these podcasts, and I'm open to criticism and critique. So if you have some suggestions, please feel free. But at the appropriate time and place. Do not wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and think that I'm going to be the happiest camper on the planet, because I probably will not be. However, suggestions, if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment. I've had people leave comments. I thank you for your comments. I truly appreciate them. And as always, have a beautiful, amazing, awesome, productive, extraordinarily wonderful, amazing day. Go forth and prosper. I honor your ears. I hope that all of you have had a successful week thus far, and enjoy your weekend. I actually have to work this weekend, so it's going to be a little bit chaotic for me, but nothing I can't handle. And so, remember, self-reflection and self-revelation are necessary to success. Be well, be blessed. I'm your host, Zappora Camper, signing off. Have a great day.